is a contentment, even joy in a landscape of bare trees, when the light makes everything more stark and bittersweet. Here I stand now, a man longing to see as a child again, when every smell and sound and sight was a marvel. Yet I will never know again the childhood thrill of finding a hawk feather snagged on a briar, or the taste of wild blackberries after rain. This place birthed my love of simple things. I have never loved concrete as I love a tree, or reeds by a river flamed by an evening sun, or the first stars of evening. The bleat of a lamb in a distant field, or the small spitter of rain on a window pane. Sometimes in those days I felt that I might crack and break apart with joy. And to contain my wild feelings I ran and somersaulted until I was breathless and dizzy. I lay for hours beneath the upside-down sea of the sky, where the clouds became camels or the face of God. Over there, a boat rotted by the riverbank, where long-beaked birds speared for food. I liked to stand and sing on the river stones, bare feet distorted by cold, rushing water. When rain came, I'd take shelter in the hoof-marked mud beneath the trees. I sat there like the animals, wiped myself with a dock leaf, covered it in case anyone might know it was mine. Here's the ruin of a small cottage, where Mrs. Doran lived alone. Her husband was a soldier. One day he left in his green uniform on his motorbike, and he never came back. There was still a photograph of him on the mantelpiece, beside the one-eyed china cat. That's where Mrs. Prunty used to live, in her great house. Only the chimneys showed above the woods where her family had resided since before the famine. We hardly ever saw her, except in the fields tending to her horses, moving among them with a bucket of feed, touching their faces they whinnied and stomped and butted heads in delight. Or on Sundays, in the back of the old Bentley, face covered by a mantilla, being driven to service in the Protestant church. Once, we stole through the woods and peered in through the lace curtains at the furniture covered with sheets, buckets on the floor to catch the rain from a leaking roof, the Bechstein piano we had seen speeding over the hedgerows on Turley's truck, rotting in a corner. Beyond is the chapel, its door locked now with a thick chain. When I was a child it was always open. God's house, for a quick prayer. Another place of escape and comfort, where I came for the answers to what ailed my boyhood self. A little chat with himself. The recording of a bell rings now from its tower. Beyond was the factory where once the workers poured in and out of the gates to the siren's call. Men in boiler suits, women in nylon smocks and headscarves. It's a block of expensive-looking apartments now. Across the field, the dance hall by day was an unremarkable building of cement with peeling paint doors. But by night, lit by Christmas lights around the door, it was a place of magic. From a ways off, you'd hear the music spilling out over the fields. Crowds streaming out of the pubs, some walking or on bicycles, hardshaws in their fathers' cars, leaning out windows with cigarettes, yahooing and whistling at girls, click-clacking in short dresses, like they were in a film, combing oiled hair into Elvis quiffs. On the stage, the spangle-suited band, brass flashing, guitars twanging beneath revolving globes that scattered shards of light over the dancers. Wallflowers looked out with shy, uncertain eyes. How long had they spent in front of the mirror, getting ready? And here they sat, unwanted, with thumping hearts, yet hopeful they might be chosen.